guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I wanted to talk about my favourite books that I read in the third quarter of the year, because we are officially in quarter 4. We're in the home stretch. We're almost in 2025, which is so crazy, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So yeah, I wanted to talk about my top books of July, August, September. There aren't a lot. I didn't read too much during those 3 months because I kind of hit slumps here and there. What I did read, I did enjoy. So yeah, there are only 4 books that I'm going to be talking about today, so this should be a little short and sweet video. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, I have spoken on my channel previously about my love for the Morganville Vampire series by Rachel Caine. I first read the series when I was 11. I've never finished the series. I got to book 6. I finished book 6 and then I just haven't finished it since. And it's 15 books, so that's a lot of books. So yeah, I received those for my birthday this year from the lovely Ida. So I've been rereading them slowly, and I read 3 of them in the month of July, and I just chose my favourite one out of the series that I reread so far, which is Feast of Fools, which is book 4 in the series. I can't express the love I have for these books and this universe. Like, there's just something about this world that I just always want to go back to. So the Morganville Vampire series follows Claire Danvers, who is a 16-year-old who graduated high school early and is going to university in Morganville in Texas. She originally was living on campus, however she was bullied on campus and it got to the point where she just couldn't live there anymore. So she moved into a house with 3 other housemates. You have Shane, Eve and Michael, and it's kind of their journey figuring out how to get through life in this town while surviving, because this town is run by vampires. That's all I'm gonna say, but it's so good. It's such a good series. The chapters are long, I will give it that. The chapters are very long. This book alone has 12 chapters. 12. So they're quite long, but there's just something so nostalgic about this series for me, and I just loved going back into this world, and I can't wait to continue and to actually finish the series, which I kind of don't want to do because, like I said, this series has been with me since I was 11, so I don't want to finish it, but I also need to know what happened. But yeah, Feast of Fools by Rachel Caine is book 1 of the quarter that I enjoyed the most. However, it's not my favourite of this quarter. The next 2 books on this list are from the same series. So as some of you know, I have been reading the Throne of Glass series slowly. I say slowly, I devoured Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Assassin's Blade and Queen of Shadows in a short period of time. But speaking of, we have Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows. This is I read this as book 3 and this one is book 5. So I read Assassin's Blade between these 2, and I know a lot of people will probably be like, oh, you shouldn't do that, you should read it in like Assassin's Blade first, but I personally preferred it this way because I felt like some of the stories in Assassin's Blade led you nicely into Queen of Shadows. But yeah, so I am loving this series so far. I struggled with book 1 in the beginning. I wasn't enjoying it so much, which I read at the beginning of this year, but then I just kind of got pulled in, and now there's no pulling me back out. I love these books. I'm up and down with which one I preferred and which one I enjoyed more, Queen of Shadows or Heir of Fire. I don't know. I love them both. I am a KL girly, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, there's people that love Kale. Yes, there are. There's a lot of us, actually. He did annoy me a little bit in this book. Read this book to find out why. But I just love him. I just love him. This one hurt my soul. Reading this one, a certain thing that if you've read the series, you know, hurt my soul. Whereas this one, oh, I can't. I'm so scared because I'm currently on Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. I don't know if I'm tandeming them yet. But yeah, I feel like I'm the worst YouTuber because I can't really talk about books. I'm not good at this. The series consists of 8 books. 1 is a novella, And it follows the main character of Selena Sardothian as she battles her way to become the king's champion. She was serving a sentence in a prison, and this is essentially her way out. That's the basic premise of it. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to give anything away, but it's so good. I have read ACOTAR by SJM, which is one of my favourite series ever, but this series, this is a whole different level. Anyone who tries to compare the two, it's just impossible. It's just impossible. They're just different entirely. There's so many more characters within this book, and Azriel is always going to be my main guy. Anyone who knows me knows my love for Azriel. But the characters in these books are really pulling it close for me, which is saying something. But yes, so I couldn't tell you which one I preferred out of the two, but I'm very excited but very nervous to continue on this journey. So yeah, so book 2 and 3 of this quarter are Queen of Shadows and Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. And finally, on to my favourite book of this quarter. This one was a book club pick, and I was very nervous to go into it because it's very loved on TikTok. And I was like, I'm not a big fantasy girl. I say that as if this entire quarter hasn't been dominated by fantasy, because the Morganville Vampire series is urban fantasy, and obviously Throne of Glass is just that fantasy. I haven't read too much fantasy in my life. My favourites are obviously Lost Kingdom Saga by Laura Carter and ACOTAR. But The Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I think about this book so often. I have an in-person book club, and this was the pick for August. And when I tell you, I love this book so much. I need to read book 2 immediately and then go on to the rest of the series. It's kind of split into duologies. So book 1 and 2 is a duology. Then the next 2 books are a duology, and so on and so forth. But this is the first of the entire series. I'll read the description of this book just because I don't know how to do it justice by summarizing it. So I'll give you guys the summary. The adopted human daughter of the Nightborn Vampire King, Araya carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is to enter the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy against the most vicious warriors from all 3 vampire houses. To survive, Araya will be forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rain is dangerous. He is a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competitor. Yet what terrifies Araya most of all is that she finds herself strangely drawn to him. But there's no room for compassion in the Kajari, and nothing more deadly than love. I mean, you cannot tell me that that doesn't make you want to read this book. I fell in love with the characters. I struggled to connect with Araya at first. There is a character in this book who I adore so much, and I'm very excited for their duology. But I just loved the characters, and I loved the story, and I did not expect the ending to go where it went. And I was furious with the ending, which is why I need to immediately go into book 2. I say immediately as if we're not in October and I finished this in August. I need to go into book 2 soon, but I just can't express my love for this book. I was attached from the turn of page 1. Like, I hadn't even bought this book, and I was walking through Asda with it, and I was just reading the prologue, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like this book, but I just did not realize how much. So, Leona, thank you for this. Thank you for this pick, because I love this so much. And I'm very, very excited to read Carissa's other work. But yeah, 5 stars, my favourite book. This is probably a contender for my favourite book of the entire year, which is strong. It's a strong competition. So yeah, Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. So, like I said, this video is going to be short and sweet. Those are my top 4 books of quarter 3 of the year. I just loved all of these, and I cannot wait to read more from each of these and continue all of the series. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your top picks of quarter 3 was, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!